Oh well, it's fine.
You were good. All right. We just usually give it a couple seconds for the live broadcast to catch up. Um,
I'll check and see if we're live on YouTube
yeah,
just yet.
sometimes there's like a little bit of a lag, so that's just the reason why we give it a little bit of a pause beforehand. Okay, it looks
Let's
like
see.
we are
Yeah, it
live.
looks like we're live.
All right, cool. So take it away, Jerry.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm Jerry Nelson, and I have my co-host Josh with me, and our special guest tonight, Cory Danziger. We've been looking forward to doing this for a while. We've been excited and sitting on pins and needles to have everything get started. If there's
Thank
any,
you for having me,
if you
guys.
want to do any special introductions or, just kind of tell everyone a little bit about yourself, feel free to go right on ahead and take the reins.
Well, my name's Cory Danziger, and I have been an actor. I have been an artist. I have been a business owner. But I think most people right now are kind of familiar with Netflix showing The Burbs. So there's a kind of resurgence of this movie that I played Tom Hanks's son in from 1989. And I think we're going to kind of talk about that a lot today.
Exactly.
But I'm really happy to be here. This is very, very cool. So thank you for including me.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. This is our treat for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. This is really awesome. When Josh finally told me about this, I'm like, Cory Danziger, because I was kind of familiar with your name, and then he was telling me some of the things you've been in. Like the Burbs, which he had us watch, and then he said you were in Star Trek, The Next Generations, if that's correct.
That's right.
That's so coincidentally, that's where I remember you from. Because I have an aunt that's like, she's a huge Star Trek fan.
Oh,
And it
funny.
was when I was younger, she like cut on the Sci-Fi Channel, and they play Stargate Atlantis, SG-1, Star Trek, The Next Generations. And I can't remember the episode that I saw your name in, but I definitely remember, like, okay, Star Trek The Next Generations, Cory Danziger. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I know exactly. I had a hard time putting a name to a face, but I put you with the show.
That's great. That's great. Well, yeah, I did do an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's actually a really popular episode. It's called Brothers. And it's where Data has his brother and his maker and meets both of them. It was a great time. I enjoyed doing that show. And it's still on the air. What's crazy is I just heard from a friend that was watching some cable network, and the episode was on. So that's kind of neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 years later.
Oh, go ahead.
30 years later.
Yeah, that's the Star Trek I'm most familiar with. I'm a '90s kid, so that's the Star Trek I kind of grew up with.
Right.
How did it feel walking on the Enterprise set? Was it super elaborate, or was it more like one room for each location? Like how elaborate was the set when you walked on?
They shoot on the Paramount. They shot on the Paramount lot, and they had these massive studios where they would build the different rooms and the different compartments and stuff. But it was all done in two different sound stages. So it was really impressive. I mean, there were so many faux and interiors that they could kind of pick from and mix and match to make a different room if they needed to. I was fascinated by it as a kid. That was a particularly happy set. Everybody that was doing The Next Generation had a great time. They enjoyed working on it.
Yeah. No, I bet. It's just like so. Yeah, I mean, you're out there in outer space, being on that set, so I could see how imaginative and everything, like how energized everyone could be. Would there be any chance of you your character coming back on Star Trek Picard or anything like that? Has there ever been
You know,
talks
I
about?
don't know. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. You just have to give me a call. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Now, I had
that was
a
cool.
follow-up question. So, obviously, all the big like the diehard sci-fi fans, Star Trek is, one of the holy grails of, like a show. Did you feel any, anxiety or, a little bit of, pressure on you to go on this show? Even, I thought you were in for more than one episode, but did you feel any kind of nervousness recording that particular episode, for such a well-known franchise?
Honestly, Jerry, I'm going to be real honest with you. I had a lot of stage fright, not just with Star Trek, but with everything I did. I grew up with a lot of stage fright. I loved acting. I wanted to act, but I used to grow up with an intense amount of anxiety before I'd shoot. And I was kind of an obsessive compulsive kid. So I would count steps and, kind of that kind of a kid, not want to step in the cracks of, the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I would get very nervous before I would shoot things. And I would worry that if I screwed up, I would be not able to perform when I get on the set. So that's a real honest answer. I was always nervous. But once I got there and once they rolled the camera, I loved it. I would forget all my worries and all my anxieties. And I was, so happy to be working and acting at the time.
I'm just gonna say it. I never would have guessed it because your performance in that episode, it's just like I never would have guessed you had really bad, stage fright. It almost seemed, like a little natural to you with how authentic your performance was.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. Well, I love doing it. And honestly, the stage fright went away the moment we start. But I'll tell you what, the moment I'd get the role and I'd have like 2 weeks before I'd start, those 2 weeks, I was like nervous and scared. And I would like, try and visualize me doing well. But then I'd worry that, I would screw up somehow before and be nervous, when I got to the set. I was just a ball of nerves.
Oh yeah, I could totally imagine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I have the guts to act because I'm not bad with stage fright, but I just, they said like, okay, we want you to be in, the next big Marvel film. I think the pressure on that would cause me to lose sleep at night just because of, the name of the project as opposed to, the role I would be playing. So I definitely want to, give you your due props and everything for your stellar performance in The Next Generation.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
How did you get started in acting? I know you started at a very young age. Was the Beauty and the Beast series your first acting role, or did you have something prior to that?
I acted a lot when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and then I landed Beauty and the Beast. I did a lot of commercials. I did commercials for McDonald's and for Sears Roebuck and for Mattel and for Nintendo and all the big brands back in those days. I was fortunate enough to do the commercials for those things. And but Beauty and the Beast was kind of the first series that I did, and it was a regular kind of recurring role. So I would be on a lot of the episodes. And I was about 10 or 11 at the time. But I started actually because a friend of mine in kindergarten was acting and was on TV commercials that used to show during the cartoons. So on Saturday night, I'd watch cartoons, and there would be my classmate on the TV commercial.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's cool.
So I literally was like, Mom, I got to do this. Mom, I got to be on TV. I got to do this. And she knew how to do it. She was a teenage actress herself. And yeah, and she got me an agent, and I had a great run.
That's
what were
awesome.
what were some of the projects your mother did?
My mom used to do a lot of commercials and a lot of modeling.
Mhm.
I think she did, campaigns for like J.C. Penney and
Oh, cool.
um,
Oh, nice.
yeah, those kind of things.
Mhm.
But she knew about getting an agent, and she knew about going to commercial interviews, and once I started, I immediately liked it. I was really happy doing it, and I was looking back. My mom has passed, uh, and looking back, I really kind of cherish all the time I got to spend with her. Doing it because she was with me by my
Yeah.
side all the time.
Yeah, she sounded like she was like the powerhouse, like driving the the ship forward. It
Was
sounded
she's
like you had a
driving the
She
ship
really
forward.
definitely sounds
And
like
she
the
was a
heart
really
of
good
good
a.
she was a
relationship.
great acting coach too. She was a great acting coach.
Did you
Okay.
read li I'm assuming you read lines with her, prior to each gig you had.
I
That must
did.
have been fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and we got very close. I was very close with my mom, and again, now that she's gone, I think about how much time I got to spend with her, and I'm just so grateful that I had that opportunity because she died pretty young. So it was a good opportunity to really get to know her while we were working.
Yeah,
That
it's nice that
that's
you had that
awesome.
like, really powerful connection, and, it seems like, it helped you become the person you are today.
Oh,
I,
thank
yeah, yeah. I know, I know I listened to other interviews with you, and you were talking about, manifesting your your destiny and kinda what your next chapter in your life is gonna be. Can you elaborate a little bit on your process with that and explain to the people at home exactly how what manifesting really is?
you. Sure. I this is a real important part of my life. After my parents died, both of them died pretty young. I realized that I was missing um, some tools, some basic tools to cope, and I got very depressed and started desperately looking for things that would give me a path out of the depression. And manifesting was the one that really worked for me. And manifesting is the process of putting down on paper, down in your mind, what you want your life to look like, what you want it to feel like, and then spending a good time, a significant amount of time, literally visualizing it, feeling it. There's a lot of different ways to manifest. Some people put together vision boards of photographs that symbolize different things that they want from their life, and they can, sit and focus on that vision board and see their future and feel their future. And the belief is that when you do that, when you spend time putting that into your mind, programming your mind with this future vision of yourself, that suddenly these things start to arrive. And I can tell you that for me, absolutely, manifesting has worked. Um, from the car that I drive, to the girlfriend that I have, to the job that I have, to the businesses that I've started, to the art projects that I've come up with, I have manifested a lot of that stuff. So my future self, myself today, looks a lot like a vision board that I had 5 years ago. I'm like, wow, there's a
Wow,
lot of stuff happening.
Wow, that's powerful.
that's super cool. I could see like you framing that or something. That's something really really powerful that sticks with you. That's really cool.
Well, I do it every year. I do it every year, so I'd have one each year. That I.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Do you, like is it more like a note-taking process, or do you draw it out like storyboards, or what's your process like?
So I started off with vision boards where I would get a hard board and I would cut out photographs and kind of live with this board. In the morning, I would look at it. At night, I would look at it. Sometimes during the day, I would look at it and focus on each element and feel those elements and think that this is coming my way. But then I changed my approach. I've actually changed my approach several times. One of the ways that I manifest now is and this might sound crazy, but I sit down at my computer like this, and I put my fingers on the keys, and I can type very well. And I close my eyes, and I open an Excel document, and I put I am, and then I start listing the various things that my future looks like. I am healthy. Next line. I am strong. Next line. I am cooking regularly. Next line. I'm saving money regularly. Next line. I see myself with X amount of dollars in my bank account. Next line. And I do that till I exhaust myself. Often I'll come up with 50 lines in one sitting. And man, I'm telling you, it's crazy because it shows up.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It I've talked to some people. They say, the vision board, they've tried it, to put in their face what they want, and for them it didn't work. But hearing you and how it's, impacted and done so much for you, I can just really tell that this is, a special piece of yourself that you hold very near and dear. And I think it's really cool for you to share that with us.
Oh, thank you. I would love to share it with you, because I would love for people that are looking for some direction or some hope to try it, because I think they'll be surprised. It's really, I mean, I almost get emotional thinking about it, because it's helped me so very much, especially after losing people that are real close to me and not necessarily having the direction of how I was what kind of future I was gonna have without them. So I would encourage anybody to do it.
I know a lot of the smartest people would manifest boards and everything. So that's really cool that you're sharing that with us. So I appreciate that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Cherry.
Oh, it's all right. You mentioned before that you're an artist. Do you record music? Do you sing any lyrics? Or are you a teacher with music? What when you say artist, are you like a painter? I was just curious what you meant by artist.
So for the last 20 years, I have been a co-owner of an art team and publishing house that collaborates on fine artwork with musicians. So we take famous rock stars, famous rap stars, and we essentially come up with an idea for them to work on a visual art piece, a fine art piece, and me and my team build it. My role specifically in that team is I'm a conceptual artist. So often I'll come up with the idea for what the art project would be. So for example, one of the most notable pieces we did was with, I don't know if you know the RZA from Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh yeah.
So that we made a piece of art called Victory or Death. And it was a recreation of Washington crossing the Potomac. But instead of Washington, it was the RZA crossing the Potomac with ODB in the boat and the Jizza in the boat and all these hidden things. And my partner, who's incredibly talented as an artist, took this kind of concept and just exploded with it. I mean, made the most spectacular recreation you could imagine. I mean, it's just that, and we worked with the RZA on it. The RZA worked with us on creating it, so it was really neat.
I think I've seen that,
so cool.
like in one of your pictures, right? That's the background of one of your profile pictures. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I'm really proud of it.
Is this a part of your Scene 4 project? Is this the? Okay, yeah.
Scene 4 is only, that's all we do, is just collaborate with musicians on fine art.
That's cool. Really cool.
Do you have any future fine art projects that you're in the process of making something happen, or in the starting phase?
Yeah, no, we're constantly working. My partner and I, we have a collection coming out with the drummer from Guns N' Roses.
Cool.
That'll be out soon, and in April. It comes out in April. We're working on a book with the drummer from Incubus, an art book. So we're constantly working, and Actually, I just launched a new business as well, with my best friend, Jesse Krakow, who's a notable bass player, and my cousin Brandon Karopian. We launched a tour business, a rock and roll tour of Hollywood. So you
Okay.
get in a Mercedes Sprinter limo with about 8 other people, and you travel around Hollywood and learn the history of rock and roll in Hollywood.
Okay. That's cool. I
Super
like
cool.
that. That's
Yeah,
super
it's
cool.
fun. It's cool. It's very fun, and it's if anyone's interested, you can get tickets at www.losangelesrocktours.com. www.losangelesrocktours.com. And if anyone wants to see the fine art, they can see it at www.scene, like a movie scene. So SCENEFOUR.com.
Okay. And if you could just repeat that first link for your rock and roll tour, I just want to, make sure, everybody who's curious about this has access to all your links.
Thank you. Yeah, it's LosAngelesRockTours.com. And
For the rock
art site
tours,
is- What's that?
are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. For the rock tours, are you what is your role with that?
I came up with the idea, and then found the partners, that I wanted to work with, and now I'm kind of just working with them together, and they're taking what was a very simple concept and making it really, really extraordinary. It's the best tour in LA. I have no doubt that it's going to just be something that people that take the tour will always remember.
That's so
Okay,
cool.
cool. If I'm ever in the Los Angeles area, I'm definitely going to make sure to do it because I'm a big rock and roll fan. Our tech guy isn't here, but he's like we're all big into rock and roll, so I think that'd be something that'd be cool to do.
Well,
Yeah, I
if
was
you guys
about to say
come to LA,
that.
the tour's on me if you come out to LA.
Oh wow!
Oh,
I really
thank you so
appreciate that.
much.
Thank you. That's so cool. Thank you. I just wanted to I know we're talking about your other roles. I just wanted to go back a little bit on your Beauty and the Beast series. How was it working with Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman? Was it like were you starstruck? Was it like what was the energy like?
I love Linda and Ron. Were great. I was really little. I was about 10, 11 years old, and I just thought I adored them. They're great to work with. They're kind people, generous people. Um, just a wonderful experience to play the role of Kipper. And in fact, I saw Linda Hamilton maybe 5 years ago. They have conventions for the series Beauty and the Beast.
Oh wow!
And so I went
That's
to one
really
with my dad, and it was really fun. And Linda was there, and that was pretty cool.
That's nice. I have a follow-up question. I know you mentioned that you got started acting at a young age, and your debut role was you said you were 10 or 11 at the time. What what hardships came with acting that young? Have have you encountered any issues when you were a child actor? Because with a lot of child actors, some of them say, you know, I had a acting just really ruined my life, and acting took a piece of me away that I wish I would have kept for myself. Or, did being a child actor that young inspire you for, greater things that you always knew and believed you could achieve?
It's funny because we do hear a lot of stories, as you're kind of mentioning, of child actors that um, had bad experiences. I have to tell you, Jerry, that I only had good experiences, and a lot of that is based upon having really involved parents that had my back. You have teachers on the set also, and the teachers I had were incredibly on top of it. And I was fortunate because I worked with really nice people. I never had a bad experience, not one. And I'll tell you the good experience that it eventually turned into was that I do real well with uh, criticism, and I do pretty well with things not working out. I learned about failure very early on, or about not landing a part, and not. I think I have a pretty decent handle on expectations, and putting good lid on fears, and also on taking risks.
That's really great to hear because, like you said, a lot of child actors, some of them had, they started off so young that they got caught up in, the dirt and the grime of the underside of acting with, a lot of the not so well known parts of it. But I'm like ecstatic to hear you had, a phenomenal support system. You had great teachers. You had, all these great parts just go for you. And I can just tell from, this really, short time I've got to meet you, you're genuine, you're friendly, you're just, you're the kind of guy I'd like to go out and have a beer with. If you drink, I don't know if you drink or not.
Likewise, I feel that way too. Likewise, same with you both. I feel that way too. It's nice meeting you both, and being able to spend some time with you talking like this.
Well, we really appreciate it. I just wanted to say, with your face, you have your Facebook posts, and they're always very they're always uplifting, and bring the best out of your day. You always have something, like some quote or something you come up with on the fly, and every time I read it, like something new, it always kind of, I feel a little lightened. I have actually a couple of your quotes saved on my phone. Like, I screenshot some of your posts, because it's always like, it always makes me feel better after I read something you wrote. So it just,
Oh,
I just wanted to say it has that effect on people, and I really enjoy what you write.
thank you. I really like to write, and I also like to plagiarize. So there's a lot of times that I'll read something and I'll try and rewrite it myself. So
Mhm.
that's a total honest answer. I mean, I sometimes it's coming from me, and sometimes it's based upon something that I read that morning, or something that I heard that my dad would tell me, or those kind of things. So I'm gonna keep doing it though, either way, because it makes people happy
Yeah.
and I'm happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I gotta say it does have a profound effect on people, and I do appreciate
Well,
you
thank
sharing
you,
that with everyone.
thank
Do
you.
you think you'll ever write a book? Maybe like a small memoir, even like if it doesn't get published, just to put your thoughts on paper, and then somebody if you're ever just having a day where you just need that inspiration from kind of like you say with your vision board, and you could look back on it as a message from your past self to maybe your future self.
That's a good. Well, I don't know if I'll ever write a full memoir. I wrote two small books for friends, that I literally just wrote for my friends to read during the pandemic, just to kind of offer something. So, but maybe I'll expand and write something maybe a little bit more substantial in the future. I don't know. I just, I got to tell you, the older I get, the more I realize that my goal in life is just to serve other people. Whether it's acting, or whether it's this tour, or whether it's artwork, or a quote that maybe Josh you liked. I mean, that's all I really want to do. That's all I
Yeah,
want.
didn't
Oh no, like that's totally understandable. Like it's
what?
because it. Oh, go ahead, Josh. I didn't mean to talk over.
Oh, no, go ahead, finish your
Oh,
thought.
I was just gonna say, like, I totally understand because it's for a lot of people having something really positive and uplifting to get not so much get them through each day, but help them get started for the day. It's
Right.
sometimes it's really taxing on people. But I'm definitely glad that you just, even if you don't do the memoir, you're just gonna you're gonna keep doing what feels right to you, and you're not gonna change that. I think that's really awesome.
Thank you. I feel that way. I appreciate you saying that, and I'm going to keep doing it no matter what. And Jerry, make sure you add me as a friend when we're done with this.
Of course, definitely so.
Okay. Good.
That's so cool. I just want to say one of your books is shit I already know, right? That's one of your books that you wrote.
Shit, I know for sure.
Oh, shit I know for sure. Yes.
And it's just
Can
it's
you,
a book just for friends. It's a
wait,
book
say
just
that
for
again?
friends. It's a book
I got
I wrote it during the pandemic just for my friends to entertain them and be, to offer something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah.
I mean, is it something we could pick up, like, if we wanted to, like, find it on shelves or online or anything like that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, the easiest way to get it is go to CoryDanziger.com and it's there.
Oh,
CoryDanziger.com.
I'm writing this down, so I remember.
I'm
I
opening the
appreciate
webpage so I don't forget it later.
it.
Thanks.
So I know we promised to talk about the Burbs. We haven't talked about it yet. I feel like we have to open that door for sure. Um, for the Burbs, what was it like first day on set when you got on set? Was it overwhelming? Like, well, there's Tom Hanks here, there's Carrie Fisher, there's Princess Leia, there's Bruce Stern, like, Corey Feldman's here. Was it overwhelming with that feeling, or were you just ecstatic? What was your feeling?
I was just excited. I was nervous, as I told you earlier. I get
Mhm.
nervous, but I was excited and immediately felt comfortable because that was the happiest group of people. Everybody that was on that cast really liked each other and was there for the work, but also to enjoy the summer together to shoot it. So we shot it during the summer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
it
it
was a
sounds like the
great,
best
great
summer
time.
vacation.
It was. It was. I think we started shooting in May, and we went May, June, July. I was on the set for 8 of the 12 weeks. It was a total shoot of 12 weeks. I was there for 8 weeks.
oh wow, so that's a big chunk.
It
So I
was.
gotta
And
ask the inevitable question. What was it like working with, Carrie Fisher? And I guess you could say this is like a two-part question. Do you still keep up with, anybody from the Burbs? Still keep in contact? Maybe, like grab a coffee or something, or like just shoot an occasional text or something like that.
okay, so the answer to that question is I do not keep in touch with anybody from the Burbs, but I have run into Corey Feldman, and we ran into each other at a gas station of all places. And it was really neat to see him, and it was exciting, and we both were like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Um, and I ran into Tom Hanks about 5 years after we shot the movie. That was the last time I saw him. I ran into Rick Dukeman right a couple years before he passed away. Um, but it's just every time you see people after spending the summer with these group of people, it's like seeing somebody from camp. You just,
Hmm.
hey, what are you doing here? Hey, this is so cool. Um, so yeah, no, but I don't stay in touch with anybody, regularly.
Okay. What?
I have to say,
So.
I have to say one thing. There's a group online called "Burbs is the greatest movie ever," um, and
I've
it's
joined that. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
it's like 25,000 people that are like really into the Burbs, and they all have the same sense of humor. So the group is the most fun group to be in if you love the Burbs because it's all everybody's pretty clever in the group, and so they're
Yeah.
posting really funny stuff all day. So it's like my favorite group on Facebook. It's hilarious.
And everyone seems so nice on that group too. It's not like anyone is, out there to poke fun at anyone. It's always like, the jokes from the Burbs, and the Burbs is like one of the most quotable movies ever, So it's just like all quotes from the Burbs, and like I feel like everyone's just quoting the whole movie, and it's just such a fun time. Like I've been on other Facebook pages, like fan groups, and it's nothing like this. Like this seems like a big camaraderie and a nice community to be a part of.
It is definitely the best group I'm part of on Facebook. It's fantastic. And it makes me laugh every single day. I mean, every day there's not one thing I see that doesn't make me laugh. It's all pretty clever.
That's great. I'm so when Josh made us watch The Burbs for the first time, like I know we say it's like a horror comedy, but as I'm watching like everything, I'm almost in tears from just laughing so hard at just all the ridiculousness and how silly, it is seeing, grown men acting, like neighborhood kids, knocking on the door saying, Mr. Churchill, can Billy come out and play today? No, he's grounded. Well, we can't wait that long.
That's right. That's right. It's a great movie. As I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate it even more because as adults, we all, we've got it in us to suddenly get to be that person. If you had some crazy neighbor,
yeah. I wanted to ask you, like today, since you're an adult and you grew up, is there a character you relate to more, or do you still relate to Dave Peterson the most?
I like all the characters. I think I relate most to Tom and Carrie Fisher because I guess they're my parents in the movie, and somehow I feel kind of connected to them in that capacity. But my favorite character in the whole movie is Ricky. I love Corey Feldman. He's amazing.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's having a great time throughout the whole shoot.
He's so good. Corey Feldman is such a good actor, and he killed it in this one. He did such a great job. I love it.
Yeah, he definitely looked like he was enjoying himself wholeheartedly. I heard in a commentary, I think it was with Joe Dante, like that Corey would bring in some friends onto set. Is there any truth to that? Like he would bring like anyone, like some of his friends on the set or anything like that?
I have no memory of that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask. Okay. Cool.
So,
Cool.
you said that you were on set for 8 of the 12 weeks. Did how many retakes did everyone have to do? Because somebody would just break out into hysterical laughter, or I feel like somebody would try to pull like a real harmless prank, and it would just completely throw off the whole shot and scene. So was there any behind the scenes stuff that just kept the positivity and the wholehearted just joy of everyone going?
Of course. I mean, you have the funniest cast in the world: Tom Hanks and Rick Dukeman and Bruce Dern and Corey Feldman. And I mean, there's a lot of times that you start doing something and then you start laughing. But Joe Dante is such a talented director that he gets the best out of those people. I mean, I worked with him a couple times actually. I was lucky enough to do another film with him or a TV show with him, and he's my favorite director. He was the best to work with. Literally my favorite director. And I've worked with some great directors. He's the best.
Was he known for a lot of takes in general? Like, would he do a lot of takes? Like, is he like like, would he rather do it in one shot or one go, or would he want to do multiple takes?
No, he's not. I mean, I've worked with some directors that believe you got to do it 10 times. He wasn't like that. He wasn't like that. And he also is somebody that listens to the actor too. So if we feel we've got a better one in us, a better take in us, he would be open to that too. Go for it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, he's great. He did it. Did you guys know that he did Goonies? I mean,
I
not
did
doing
not know that.
Gremlins. He did Gremlins.
Gremlins. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
did not know
Gremlins is one of my favorites too. I love Gremlins. I love Gremlins and I love the
I'm a
Burbs.
90s kid, and I feel ashamed to say I never like got into the whole Gremlins movie craze because I
No?
like until I think what was it like 7 or 8 months ago, Josh? Like you showed me
Oh yeah, we watched
Gremlins
Gremlins
2.
too.
Like that was my first introduction into the Gremlins, and I'm like, what is this chaotic movie I'm watching? It's just because as a kid, I was just all like, I was all cartoons. Like if it wasn't a cartoon or some kind of animated movie, 9 times out of 10, I was not watching it, except for like a select few, like The Mask, the Mighty Ducks, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right.
Like cartoons was basically my life for the first 15 years.
Have you gotten into the Pixar films, all of those films?
I haven't caught up, but I have watched a vast majority. I love the Pixar films, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, I like what Pixar's doing, but the magic just isn't still the same anymore, if that makes sense,
Yeah. Well, every time I hear Tom Hanks, Ray Pearson yelling, I just hear Woody. When he's like going off like in the high vocals, I just hear Woody all the time. But yeah, that's what I grew up with was the original Toy Story movies. So yeah,
he's incredible in those. Those were great.
Yeah, those are amazing. Like you can watch them any age; they're timeless. Like that's how I feel about this movie. Like the Burbs, I could watch any mood. I could just put it on, and it's just I could watch it anytime, any day of the week. It's just one of those movies where it's just a breeze to get through, and it's just such a fun time. And Joe Dante's camera work and everything. It's really engaging. Like I love the shots where Tom Hanks and Rick Dukeman are going up to the house, and they have everyone's faces getting zoomed in, and with the epic Western music, and like how was like what was it like shooting that particular scene, because you were obviously a part of that segment, looking at your father, so-called father, walking into to the house, the basically the spooky house. Like, what was it difficult to get everyone like to shoot that, or did that progress pretty fairly quickly?
That's the magic of Joe Dante. I mean, it was very organic when we shot it. We shot all the different stuff the same day of that segment, and it's a lot of different shots.
Yeah.
It's the wide shot, it's the close up, it's the door, it's each of the faces, it's my reaction when all of it's over. It's and Joe just again he makes it feel easy. Yeah, that's my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, that scene is perfect. I love that, and the opening shot where they're zooming on the Universal globe. That's genius. Like that is such a perfect use
That's
of
iconic.
the Universal logo, and I don't think any movie has done it before or since. It's just such an iconic thing.
So ahead of its time.
It really is. It works. It works with I'm so it's like such a great idea. I'm surprised no one has used it before.
I don't mean to. Well, I don't want this question to derail us talking about the Burbs, but like how you mentioned seeing the Facebook group with 25,000 people who just are just overwhelmingly positive with the Burbs, and the Burbs has turned into a cult classic film. Is there any cult films that you really love and hold near and dear, or do you have your guilty pleasure ones that you just keep hitting to yourself?
You know what? I was just talking about a couple of them with my friend. I love The Christmas Story.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
That's an awesome movie.
It's a great movie, and also Weird Science.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. John Hughes.
I never got a chance to watch that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Jerry, It's hilarious across the board. It's so funny. You'll love it.
Weird Science. Okay, I'm just gonna type it into my watch list.
Oh, we'll have to do it on the podcast sometime. Yeah, we usually go back and review movies in between, talking to people like yourself. So that's definitely a recommendation we'll save for the future.
Okay,
so I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I know for me, a cult film that, well, I know a lot of people like it, but I've met a couple people who don't. I love The Mask with Jim Carrey. To me, Jim Carrey's just one of those actors. If you get the chance to work with him, there's going to be so much, just high energy from how much he puts into the role, no matter what he's doing, that you're either going to have a hard time staying focused from all the laughter, or you're going to just be in such awe from, the presence that he's going to bring.
That's
and
right.
The Mask is just, it's like watching Looney Tunes in real life, but it's just focused on one man instead of, a big cast of characters, which there's nothing wrong with. But he's just, he's the down on his luck bank employee. He's being used and abused by like his friends, his boss, and even the person who is nicer to him. But then she sells him out at the end, and then the whole time he's just trying to like, I gotta build up this confidence. I just have all this self-doubt, and then at the end, he tosses the mask in the river, and he just drives into the sunset with Cameron Diaz for like the biggest win that you could possibly have at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. That era of movies, like between the 80s and 90s, were just such a magic that was, the limitations on filmmaking and everything. It just made it more like there's a lot of more practical effects and everything, and it just made it more tangible and made it more real. And I think that's that's definitely I grew up in that era, so that's like, I guess I'm a little biased, but that's one of my like favorite eras of movies, the 80s and the 90s, when they had those. I mean, they still had CGI, but it was still limitations, so they still had to use practical effects and everything. And I'm sure there was a lot of crazy. I mean, there's crazy explosions at the end of the movie with the Burbs. When that whole house exploded. Like, was that intense? Like, with that enraging inferno? Was that like? Did you feel the heat on your face during?
Yeah, they invite. It was after I was finished with shooting. So it was, week 12, the last week, right before we were done, and they invited me and my family to come watch the house explode. And, and it was intense. It was really intense, but it was awesome.
That just sounds cool. It's not every day you get to just watch an explosion happen. That's, of course, controlled and contained, properly and safely. But I'm just trying to imagine that as a kid. It's like the 4th of July, but so much more cool because it's a house instead of fireworks.
And then Tom and Tom comes out of the house. I mean, it's just it was so awesome as a kid to see that in real life. It was really neat.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I could only imagine how like intense that was. That must have been so fun.
It was so
to witness that. Is that your favorite memory on set
yes.
of the Burbs? That's your
my favorite memory on set of the Burbs was Bubbles the chimp. Michael Jackson's chimp used to come to the set.
What? That's crazy. That's so
you got
cool.
to meet. Did you get to meet Michael Jackson?
I didn't get to meet Michael Jackson, but I got to meet the chimp. And I got to spend a lot of time hanging out with the chimp, and that was really neat because chimps are amazing.
Wow.
Chimps are
That's
really
cool.
ever.
I'm insanely jealous. That's such a, that's a top tier thing to just be able to. I mean, to me, it's casual because the most, I've done with a famous person is, I don't know if you're familiar with the band Paramore, but, they're, well, not local, but, they're native down here to Nashville and Tennessee. And I've met them a couple of times, just going downtown. But being able to meet Michael Jackson's chimp, I would trade that for half of the experiences I got in the world.
How did he interact with you? What was the interaction like with, like, you know? With
He's Chimp
chimpanzee?
was like the most well-behaved, coolest. He was just a cool hang, real loving. I remember he was just, kind of a hugger and just sweet and
Wow.
just a great animal. Like, I mean, I got a great dog right now, and I wouldn't trade her for anything in the world. But next to Sophie, a chimp would be amazing.
That's so cool.
Awesome. That's
incredible that you had that encounter, especially like on a movie set where the chimp is not in the movie. He's just kind of, he's just hanging out. That's wild. That's such a trip.
Gosh, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get over that one. You got to meet Bubbles. At any moment, Michael could have just walked on set looking for Bubbles, and boom, you got to meet the Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's really incredible. I have to ask you, with the actors, with I know Tom Hanks, Big just came out. Carrie Fisher, obviously, famous from Star Wars. Was there any, like, were you in awe with these actors? Was it like, oh wow, this is amazing? I'm working with Princess Leia, or like, I'm working with Tom Hanks. Did that feeling ever kind of come on to you, or was it just more like, oh yeah, just an actor on set? I'm ready to go.
It's a weird thing. I think when you get the interview, the call that they're looking for a kid for the new Tom Hanks movie, you get excited because you like Tom Hanks. But when you're an actor, somehow you kind of forget about it once you're there. You kind of forget about the fact that they're Princess Leia's your mom, or Tom Hanks. You forget it. I don't know why. It just works that way. I don't know why.
It probably worked for your benefit too, because you can't be starstruck the whole set. It would probably be impossible to act.
That's true.
With that emotion. I wanted to ask you. I just have a couple of questions. I know there's a project you're working on called the Magic 7, and I know I was looking at the cast, and it looks like it's a project that's never been released, and like it had John Candy in it. I think I saw Michael J. Fox in there. It looked like a star-studded cast, and I wanted to know what exactly happened with that project, and why didn't it never get lifted off the ground?
The project was a film that I starred in, and it had this incredible cast. And sometimes films get shot and they get shelved. I don't know exactly the backstory of it. It's kind of it's a very common thing in the industry. There's a lot of movies that have been shot that the film studios decide to hold back on releasing. I don't know. I just know that I had a good time shooting it. I remember that my dad was played by Ted Danson. And
right, yeah.
I liked him a lot. He was real nice. He's a real cool guy. And funny enough, I used to have much curlier hair, and I looked like Ted Danson kind of too.
Yeah, exactly. It was perfect casting.
Yeah, it was good.
And I understand, like, the project had, like, environmental messages, like, protect the environment, protect the species. I think there was a segment about passenger pigeons, if I stand correctly. I know it's been a while since since that project, but it sounded really interesting. And I know there was going to be animation segments incorporated with live action. So I would love to see it. Like, it sounds like an awesome project. I know it's been shelved. Like, if there's any chance to make that happen, I would love to see that project.
If I get a chance to see it, I'll share it with you. I haven't gotten a chance to see it myself.
Yeah, we got to make a push. I know they do with the audience, with like the Snyder Cut movement and all that stuff. We got to make release the Magic 7. That would be really
I'm
fun.
ready. I'm ready. I want to see it. I worked on it long enough. I'm ready.
Right? Exactly. It's been such a big gap. Yeah, you got to see it at some point.
Okay. I had a question. So, obviously, I just wanted to, touch back with how young you started acting. Are there I know you said you would shoot for commercials and some things from time to time. Are there certain commercials where you saw how you did your performance and were like, I know I could have done better if they would have given me, just like that one more take? Oh, and were there any commercials you were like, I put my heart into it, but I know I did, the best I could, but I just wasn't really feeling, what they wanted me to, give them as far as maybe, like showing off a product or like some type of, like you said with Nintendo, some kind of, toy or video game of that caliber.
It's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. I always used to give it my all and pretend like I liked it no matter what. The only memory I have an odd memory of shooting a commercial for Hostess Twinkies, and they had me take a bite of the Twinkie in the commercial, and they ended up doing 28 takes of the shot. So I
Oh
had,
gosh.
God.
I mean, by the time you're done, I'd probably eaten 15 Twinkies.
Good
I probably
God.
would never want a Twinkie ever again.
I don't think I could look at like a snack cake for the rest of my life. 15 Twinkies and 28 takes? That just makes my teeth just start. Oh, all that sugar.
Yeah. Have you had a Twinkie since?
No.
I don't
No.
blame you.
I don't blame you.
I don't. If I had that many Twinkies, I would swear off Twinkies until I was so far down the road I'd forgotten about it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's
Gosh.
really funny. I just have one last question. I know I heard this is I'm not sure if this is a fan theory, if this was actually going on set. I know with Ray Peterson's character, with Tom Hanks' character, um, I know he's taking an extended vacation. He seems like he doesn't want to go to work. Is it in the script that he is fired from his job, or is he just taking a vacation, like a stay home vacation?
It's a good question. I don't remember him being fired from the job, but there's been a lot of articles about the Burbs recently, and I did read that. I don't remember that in the script at all, but
Okay.
Okay.
I did read that, so you might be right.
Yeah, I did hear about it. I'm not sure if I heard it, from a behind the scenes thing or segment or anything like that, but I heard it somewhere. I'm just seeing if I could, figure that out.
Yeah,
But no, I appreciate it.
we'll stay in touch, Josh, and if something comes up and I find out, I'll let you know.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Cory.
Okay.
Jerry, you have anything else you wanna add?
Um, I don't know if if you would ask this already, Josh, but I apologize if I steal your thunder from you.
That's okay.
So Cory, do you with the resurgence of the Burbs and how popular it's gotten, would you like to see maybe like a Netflix series turned into it, or would you like to see a continuation with a new movie? Or
I mean, I'm
maybe
open to.
somebody take the project as an inspiration and try to not necessarily mimic it, but use it as like a groundwork for a different piece of medium.
That's a great question. I would love to see it go in all of those directions. I mean, whoever is cast, is lucky to be part of a great story. And the writer Dana Olson that wrote it did a great job, and it's just so neat that 30 years later, people still love the movie. And but I would love to see them do series or a remake of it or whatever they choose to do. This has been a very special part of my life. You know, I'm really lucky. I'm 45 years old, and I've had an extraordinary life. And one of the most extraordinary parts was being able to do that movie. So I'm happy to see it thrive or continue to thrive.
Yeah, it has a lot of love. I grew up with this movie. This, I would watch it ever since I was, 4 years old or younger. Ever since I had memory, it was always a movie my brothers and I would watch, and we continue to watch. So it's just such a, it's such a treat to have you on, and
thank you. Well, I enjoyed it, guys. This was really cool. I really enjoyed both of meeting you and talking about this. So anytime you if you're up for it, say hi to me anytime, and thanks again for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Yeah,
thank you.
We really
appreciate it. You're the star here to us. Like this is like I'm blown away still. I'm getting to talk to you, man.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you guys. This was really nice. I really enjoyed this hour.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, Cory,
Okay,
we just have a little outro. We do. Do you mind just joining us on the outro if that's okay with you?
Sure.
So after Jerry says his little segment, if you could say becoming super friends one episode at a time, that would be fantastic.
Becoming super friends one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. This was Josh from BatYard Productions sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
This is Jerry guiding you all with Green Lantern's light.
Becoming wait, hold on. Do it one more time. What is it again? Becoming super friends.
One episode at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we'll do it again. Okay. 3, 2, 1. This was Josh from BatYard Productions sending you off up and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
I'm Jerry guiding you all with Green Lantern's light.
Becoming super friends one episode at a time.
That's perfect.
Thank you so much, Cory.
Thank you so much.
This was a treat. This is so great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.